Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Shri Iyer. Today I have a new guest, Shri Ajay Shah. He is the convener of Hindu Pact and also the president of VHP America. And he's going to be talking to us about this new website that he has helped create called the Hinduvote.org. And we are going to understand what it is, what does it represent, what does it do for the Hindu Americans who are going to be voting in the upcoming elections in November. Now, you're also joined by 𝙒𝙗𝙤𝙦 Chakrabarti, and you don't need to, 𝙒𝙗𝙤 is not a stranger to our channel. He has been around for a while now. So let's go ahead and welcome our guests of the day, Ajay and 𝙒𝙗𝙤. Namaskar to both of you gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you,
Okay,
Sri. Thanks
namaste.
for giving us an opportunity to be here.
My pleasure, sir. And Ajay, we have been really curious to know about Hinduvote.org. I had the opportunity to take a look at the site. Now, it's gone live now, and I think a lot of data is being pulled in. I think you've had done a fair amount of work. Kind of walk us through it as to what a perspective, what a prospective voter can expect from going to the site hinduvote.org. Take it away, sir.
Thank you. Thanks, Sri. So what we have is hinduvote.org. It is really a unique resource for American Hindus for the upcoming midterm elections. They're coming up in just about a week and a couple of days now. This is really an important resource because this is the one of the most significant elections that we are in America now, with all the challenges that the country is facing in economy, as well as the foreign policy and all the other. So it's a multidimensional challenge. Layer on top of it the challenges that Hindus in America are facing, and these are the challenges that manifest itself in Hinduphobia that people come across, whether it's in Bay Area or in Texas. There are mandirs in East Coast that are getting vandalized, and there are educational opportunities that the Hindu kids are deprived of. So what is a Hindu supposed to do? How is a Hindu supposed to pick the candidate that is pro-Hindu? There are really no resources. So what we decided was that, look, let us provide a comprehensive guide to Hindus so that they can make a well-informed decision as to which candidate is right for them. Now, this is more important than a lot of people realize, that the Hindus form a significant percentage of voting population in America. Our count shows that there are about 6 million Hindus in America. If you add the people who follow dharmic traditions, whether it is Buddhist, Jains, or Sikhs, that adds another close to 7 million, 6.5 to 7 million people. There's 6 million Buddhists in America, and there are 500,000 Jains and Sikhs together in America. So we are talking about close to 13.5 million American Hindus, or people of dharmic traditions, in American population of about 330 million. If you look at if you now look at the people who follow the Hindu practices, whether it is yoga, meditation, who have a soft corner for Hindu dharma and who can relate to the issues that Hindus face on a daily basis, we can easily add around 20 million more people. Now we are talking about 7 to 8%. Now you take 7 to 8% and you look at the battleground states, of which there are about 7 or 8 battleground states in America. This is more than a deciding vote in all of these places. So on one hand, you take this resource that we have created. It's a comprehensive resource as a voter guide, and we can talk a little bit more about what kind of guidance it provides. And you take this significant population, especially in the battleground state, and then you can see why this very unique website is absolutely critical resource for Hindus and for all of America, and it can be a deciding factor.
Thank you so much for the information. Ajay, I have heard that you have actually sent out questionnaires to many candidates to seek their position on various topics that are close to the heart of Sanatanis. I'm broadly putting all the people as Sanatanis because Sanatana Dharma is something that was before all these things, and we can debate till the cows come home as to whether Hinduism is this or that or how the name came about. But Sanatana Dharma is fairly well established because I can find references way back in Ramayana and Mahabharata and so on and so forth. So my point here is, looks like you have put out a questionnaire to many candidates, and will the viewers who come to your website know that their local congressman, woman, or whatever, are they getting to know what their position on various topics are?
Yeah, so there are three categories of questions here. The first and all three together become a comprehensive guide. The first category is your opinion about the candidate. So that first category are the five questions, and their ratings from 1 to 5, and these are the questions as to whether the candidate is involved. So the website is really simple, right? So you just put your address or your zip code, and it tells you all the candidates that you in your voting district. And the first category is a voter survey. This is a crowdsourcing of the opinion that people share about a particular candidate. So, for example, the candidates would be: is this candidate engaged with the local Hindu community? Do you think that this particular candidate appreciates the contributions that the American Hindus are making? And sympathizes with the Hindu issues like Hinduphobia and all of that. The second category is the candidate questionnaire. These Every single one of the 1150 candidates who are running for the elections, whether they are House of Representatives or Senate and belong to all political parties, they get the exact same questionnaire, and they get a unique link. They fill that questionnaire out, and the answers to the questions get populated on their personalized page on our website. Now, these questions range from Hinduphobia and the candidate's response to Hinduphobia at a federal level, to educational opportunities and equal playing ground for Hindu kids, or general immigration practices which affect the Hindus disproportionately in many ways. Some of the issues related to human rights. As you know, Hindus have been at the other end, at the receiving ends of Hindu right violations. And what is the candidate going to do about some of these broader issues? And there are some general questions that are of interest to all Americans, whether it's related to current economic situations, whether they're related to the environment, and so on, right? And gun control, abortion, things like that. And so you can see how closely your views match with the candidates' views. So it's Hindu questionnaire, but it goes beyond that. And the third category is the key votes. So what we have done is we have taken 4 key congressional votes uh, from this current Congress, and we have said, did this candidate vote the Hindu interest on those 4 key congressional votes? So together, all these 3 sections make up the voters' guide, and and people can decide on.
Thank you so much, Ajay. And I would now like to get to know some inputs from the Executive Director of Hindu Pact, 𝙒𝙗𝘅. 𝙒𝙗𝘅, you and I last talked about the HR 1430 that was introduced by a bipartisan panel, one Republican and one Democrat. Viewers, you should go back and look at the video. I'm not going to really give you the names. But 𝙒𝙗𝘅, you've been tirelessly working for the cause of Hindus. Now, with this hinduvote.org, do you think that this will help make up some of the fence sitters, decide who the right candidate is? What are your thoughts?
So first, I want to update our viewers that there is an additional co-sponsor now, Katie Porter from California. So now there are 2 Democrats and 1 Republican, and this is the time when you need to reach out to your Republican lawmakers and tell them they need to match the Democrats, and then we'll reach out to the Democrats. So my point here is that this is the kind of reason why we need hinduvote.org, because even though this resolution came a little late and the site was already ready, and we cannot factor in that particular position, but what this helps us do, the hinduvote.org website helps us do, is that it makes every Hindu aware of, number 1, who their candidates are, and number 2, some of the basic positions that they need to be aware of and what their candidates need to be aware of. So once you achieve these 2 very basic objectives, then you have already taken the voter to a level of education that so far, believe it or not, in so many years, and with 6 million American Hindus and almost 4.5 million voting American Hindus, you still haven't been able to achieve that. So for the first time, we are able to educate people just to this basic level. And then, as Ajay Bhai pointed out, there are so many other parameters where people can rate their candidates and where they can see the candidate questionnaire. We can actually, my apologies, my daughter decided to join the conversation. Hopefully
And
someday
she has a point to make.
she will be in the White House someday. But I
She has
cannot.
my vote.
So, but my point here is that this is the reason why Hindu vote is critical, because every individual, and all you need is go to the site, put your zip code. You don't even have to put your address, and you know who your candidates are.
That's wonderful, Utsav. Now, let's get back to Ajay ji. Ajay ji, the demographic of voting percentage, if you look at what happened in the 2020 elections, is that the Hindu Americans as a bloc were voting Democrat. I think before the 2016, the percentage was much worse, like it was 80-20. I believe with extensive communication and what I would call as subtle messaging for the preference of a Republican president, the needle has moved a little bit. I believe the numbers was 2080 or maybe 2377 in the 2020 elections. I'm not 100% sure about the numbers. But with HinduVote.org and a lot of new initiatives, Islamophobia stories, all fake, do you think now the average Hindu American is now ready to change his mind? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I think the estimates are that in the previous election, the presidential election at least, the mix was about 65 to 67% Democratic and rest of them Republican. Look, I was at I was at an event today, earlier today, and I was talking to some people who went to the Diwali event in White House. First of all, the event was on the Diwali day, so a lot of people had a choice to make whether they should go to the Diwali event or they should celebrate Diwali with their family. And that was not the only event. There were some other events that were taking place, similar events, and there was no sensitivity towards it. It was I checked the box, and I say this check the box not lightly. Diwali event was called celebrate the South Asian Festival of Light. There was no mention of Hindu, and there was no mention of word Diwali. And it is a check that people made before the elections. Now, Hindus vote in a bloc, but I don't think Hindus are that stupid to not recognize that here is an attempt to, create a vote bank without actually making commitment to understanding Hindus in America. And I think if you look down the list of some of the things, and we are 501c3 non-profit organization, so we obviously don't take partisan side, but I think it's open for people to interpret that. Look, here is a president who is afraid to create a website for Hindus because he's afraid that he will end up losing the Muslim votes. But there's no qualms about creating a Muslim website for his presidential campaign without worrying about the Hindu vote. He celebrates the South Asian Festival of Light because by mistake we mentioned Diwali, he will end up losing Hindu vote. Now, if you put all this together, do really Hindus understand where their interests lie? And maybe Hindus should realize that they should vote their interest rather than go one block with any one political party. So we want to make sure that everyone competes for Hindu vote. We don't want one party to be Hindu getting party.
Wonderful, Ajay. And I'd like your concluding thoughts, Utsav, because you and I, we have worked together for a long time. Now, I'll also tell you, Ajay, I don't know if you know about this. There's also one other website and a platform that I have the author come and talk about the data. It's called Hinduphobia.ai. And this site is actively tracking hate Hindu campaigns, Hinduphobia campaigns, and it is tracking the websites, the handles in Twitter, which are constantly putting out these fake narratives.
Yeah.
And it's a very good indicator for people to know who or where the source is. Just yesterday in Daily Global Insights, I had mentioned that Turkey had trained as many as 6,000 programmers in Pakistan to feed misinformation, anti-Hindu, anti-India propaganda. That's just one part.
Yeah.
And the study from Rutgers showed that Iranian handles are doing the same thing. I mean, Iran is supposed to be a friend of India. This is something that's mind-boggling. Why is it that people of one particular religion have this world order completely upside down? The world order is human being, a citizen of a country, resident of a state, speaks this language, and then this religion. This is like fifth, sixth. These guys put all the way on the top and say, this is my religion, this is what I care about. That is wrong. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents, sir. Utsav, please wrap it up for us, and we will again come back. One question, one offer that I have to give to all the congressmen, women, senator candidates. If you would like to come and share your views on PGurus, please feel free. And we are available, and anyone can write an email to me, SI, my initials, S as in Sam, I as in India, at pgurus.com, and we will set it up, and you will have your 20 minutes to explain what you stand for. Utsav, take it away.
So I just wanted to add one point regarding this bipartisan approach that we have taken. And just to add to the point that Ajay Bhai made, that last election cycle, nearly 65% of the Hindu Americans voted for the Democrats. That was actually 10 to 11% lower than the previous cycle.
That is right.
There is a progressive move of the American Hindu vote away from the Democratic Party. And events like those of Teaneck in New Jersey, where the grassroots of the Democratic Party openly embraces radical Islamists and openly embraces anti-Hindu hate, it is becoming extremely difficult for the Democrats at the leadership level to justify why Hindus should continue to vote for them. And I think one of the ways they can do it is by embracing the American Hindu communities and actually standing up to the grassroots level Islamist infiltration. Because in all honesty, the Democratic Party was not built by the Islamists. It was built by immigrants from all across the world, including those from India, who are the majority of the Hindu American voters, and also from the Caribbeans, and so on and so forth. So if you are really going to betray your own base in order to get temporary support from an Islamist narrative builders, then you are really cutting yourself on the foot. So that's the message to the Democrats from my side. And in terms of the Republicans, I really believe that the Republican Party is beginning to embrace the American Hindus, but they have a long way to go in terms of treating American Hindus like they are Americans and integral to the core American system. And I think Rishi Sunak's rise in UK to 10 Downing Street is a very good message to Republican leadership in America that, immigrants, especially American Hindu immigrants, value what the conservatives value in these societies, and they can rise to the level of top leadership.
Wonderful. And before I let both of you gentlemen go, I want to just take your senses on who you think is going to be in Congress, who's going to be the leader in Congress, and who's going to be the leader in Senate. Before you say that, I just want to say one little thing. Viewers, I don't know if you have watched this thing. It's on social media widely. What has happened is, Democrats' biggest vote getter is ex-President Barack Obama. And recently, I think it was in North Carolina, he was at a speech, and he was completely booed out by people chanting FJB, FJB, FJB. To me, FJB is freedom, jobs, business. But people are saying that it also means something else. 4 letters for the first letter, and then Joe Biden.
F. Joe Biden.
So what do you see? First, I'll go with Ajay ji because he's our guest for the first time. Who do you think is going to capture the Senate? And
I think the history shows that the midterms are generally won by the opposition. I think there have been in last 100 years, very rarely has the party which controls, the house, both the House and in this case, Senate is evenly split, and the presidential office hardly ever wins. So I would expect Republicans to do much better than they did in the previous election.
Wonderful. And you yourself?
I think the House will go to the Republicans very decisively. The Senate has a very strong chance of moving Republican as well. I don't know how decisively, but they really don't need much there. And I'm really hoping that Steve Chabot would be the leading the subcommittee on South Asia and Southeast Asia.
Thank you so much, both of you gentlemen and viewers. We are going to be coming up with a lot of programs in and around Indian Americans and the Western, hemisphere, where all Hindus are in various countries and things that matter to them. So please stay tuned. Do like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar. Thank you very much, Ajay ji. Thank you very much, Utsav ji.
Thank you. Namaste.